Well, pardon the Einstein hair here, but here are some really good quotes that I came across. And good quotes for today, Thursday, the 13th of February, 2014. I'm just amazed at how good Ralph Waldo Emerson is with his quoting. I guess that's a poor way to put it, but I'm amazed at how many great comments he made, right? And how many quotes we got from his speaking, his writing, probably mostly his writing. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. So I heard a rabbi on the On Being show talk about this, is that we should not be afraid to experiment with our lives, our learning, our friendships, and always experiment. Never stay in the same safe pathway. That's the fastest road to death, probably, is to stay in our own safe pathway, which is a lesson I'm still learning here. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there's no path and leave a trail. This is one I left on Facebook today. I think it's really great. It's kind of like the road less traveled kind of theory. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. So if you can convince yourself that every day is the best day of the year, or better yet, if you're feeling a little under the weather, do at least one good thing, one fun thing, one thing just for yourself that day. My thing today was to go find an old Pete Seeger song and record it. And I didn't really care what song it was, just so it was a song I didn't know. So something that I didn't know, I learned. And it's quite a cool song called What Did We Learn in School Today? It's a criticism of education, American education system. It is one of the blessings of old friends that you can afford to be stupid with them. And that's great. That's a great thing about having a great friendship, is you can say almost anything, well, within reason. But you're accepted. There's that inherent acceptance that's there, which is nice. And so the more good friendships we build, the more inherent freedom that we have to express ourselves, perhaps, right? Let's see. For every minute you remain angry, you give up 60 seconds of peace of mind. Think of all the time that we spend, or we waste spending on anger or frustration, or I see that in my job in customer service, where people go, I can't stand that customer. That customer really got underneath my skin, and it's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, and it's just terrible, terrible, terrible. When in fact that we could rearrange our thinking process to be more positive about what can I do next time to make it a more pleasant conversation or instance between myself and the customer. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside you. That's another one that I shared on Facebook at one time, and I liked it. It's not your history or fear of the future or whatever. It's living in the now. It's living in the now, taking into account each breath and enjoying each moment of being alive, because it's there and it's gone. The moment is there and it's gone. There it's gone. There and it's gone. Let's see. There's some silly ones in here that I'm going to pass on. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising up every time we fail. See, the greatest leaders, and we hear this all the time, the greatest leaders are the ones that aren't afraid to fail. As a matter of fact, the greatest leaders are the ones that have probably fallen on their faces. The supervisors, the floor leaders in my business and customer service are the real leaders, the top managers, the ones that have not been afraid to just fall on their face and get back up again. And then maybe some of the workers that have been there for 11 years and have never risen to, those might be the folks that need to challenge themselves and don't be afraid of failing, because that's part of life, is learning and failing and being humble and learning and failing and winning. You don't go out to fail. But love of beauty is taste. The creation of beauty is art. If you just joined this YouTube, we're talking about Ralph Waldo Emerson quotes. It's not the length of life, but the depth of life. Wow, is that great, huh? Right now I'm sitting here at 54 years old, and I'm not promised 80-year contract with life. So it's what I do in the now that counts. It's the humor, engagement, productivity, peace of mind, positive outlook. It's all that together. It's all that together. So that's kind of cool. You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late. Oh boy, that is really something. And we think about our loved ones that have passed away, and you think of the kindness that you could have done, but you also have to be proud of the kindness that you did for them. For example, with my Uncle Charlie, toward the last few years of his life, I made it a discipline of mine to call him every Tuesday night on my way back from work, and I'm so proud that I did that. I'm really, really proud that I did that. Men are what their mothers made them. That's interesting, huh? That's true. To a large extent, what their fathers made them too. Every artist was first an amateur, right? That's once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. So in other words, when you see the world a certain way, and then it kind of shifts to be your way. I see that too. Always do what you were afraid to do. Yeah. Customer service can be scary, especially when you get very nasty people who demand to know, okay, I want this, this, and this now, or else I'm going to write you up. I'm going to talk to your supervisor. So there is that pressure to kill them with kindness, so to speak. But yeah, and to plunge in what we're afraid to do. Absolutely. Though we travel the world over to find the beautiful, we must carry it with us, or we find it not. So though we travel the world over to find the beautiful, we must carry it with us. So in other words, if we don't carry some sense of perception of beauty within us, then the beauty is never going to manifest. It's never going to be. There are literally pages and pages of Emerson quotes. This is unbelievable. Over 10 pages. I won't go over all of them. Just a couple more of my favorites here. A couple more before the tape breaks here. If you do too much Emerson, the tape breaks. In art, the hand can never execute anything higher than the heart can imagine. Who you are speaks so loudly I can't hear what you're saying. Isn't that true? People see who we are. It's this like we can't hide it. So if we try to act, they know, they get it, and they just kind of play along sometimes. Earth laughs in flowers. A great man is always willing to be little. That's right, humility. Truth is beautiful without a doubt, but so are lies? I don't think so. I don't think lies are too beautiful. Trust your instinct to the end, though you can render no reason. A friend may well be reckoned the masterpiece of nature. That's great. A friendship. Oh, I'm going to write that down. I think my friend Brenda would like that. She's always quoting things about friends all the time. Friends, 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 all the time. So I'm going to copy that for her. Two more quotes. In the morning, a man walks with his whole body, in the evening only with his legs. Trust men and they will be true to you. Treat them greatly and they will show themselves great. So again, if you treat people well, it comes back on you. It's the more you give, the more you receive. So if you see the world in a positive light, you smiling, you're laughing, the world is actually going to react that way to you and to say, wow, you're something of value too. You might not be perfect, but you're something of value because I've seen you smile and laugh and care about me. I've seen you try to help me. I've seen where you've struggled and I care about you, so that all kind of builds upon itself in a positive way. So there it is. Emerson has a lot to teach in them. You can call them dead author quotes or whatever, but it's just amazing how much quotes can teach us. So there we go. That's our edition of Quotes for the Day. Maybe I'll just start making a show called Quotes for the Day with your friend Jeffrey. Have a good day, everybody.